Hey, good morning. Thanks for joining me. Um, just gonna upload a quick one here off of the news from Bellator about well, not a bunch of news from Bellator. They had a live stream yesterday with a bunch of announcements. And what I'm talking about now, and the title of this video is going to be about Anthony Johnson versus Yoel Romero. So. Um, Uh, a lot of people were anticipating this fight when Yoel left the UFC. Was it late last year? Yeah, late last year. And later on, rumors were that he was signing with Bellator. Sorry about the noise. That's my dog. She's trying to get outside. Come here, come here. I'll take you out in a bit. I'm almost done. Anyway, so that's happening, and it's gonna be within a Grand Prix that they have for the light heavyweight division in Bellator. So they've been emphasizing a lot that we have a lightweight division that's as good as any, or even the best lightweight division in the sport. Well, certainly they have a lot of big names. I mean, who's fighting in this light heavyweight Grand Prix? Ryan Bader will be going up against Lyoto Machida. Corey Anderson will be going up against, bear with me here, Dovlet Zan Yag Shimarov. Shimardov. Yeah, newcomer apparently, but very promising. And then there's another couple ones. The champion Vadim Nemkov versus Phil Davis. I think that's a rematch. Of course, Anthony Rumble Johnson versus Yoel Romero. So that's what the Grand Prix looks like. I mean, for me, that sounds like a very exciting Grand Prix, full of big names, full of really talented fighters. Some quite old though. Lyoto Machida is I think 42, 43 ish. Yoel is I think 44 at this point. So I mean, they're on the older scale, on the older side of the scale. Um, which I'll be right back. But yeah, still definitely a couple of really great performers. What you have is, obviously Yoel coming off a few losses, but when you see the way he performs in his fights, you can't say the guy is slowing down from age. Um, that's not something I would conclude, certainly. You could also see Machida is kind of on the same level. He's older, on the older side of the scale, but I feel like age has caught up to Lyoto a little more than it has Yoel, in my opinion. But in any case, I mean, for me, this is really inspiring because um, the fact that you have a couple of older guys competing in what is being presented as, top echelon competitions of this weight division, that's quite inspiring for me, especially being, 33-year-old getting into this sport late. Um, it shows me that, maybe I have a good 10 years uh, in me to do this sport. And that's great because other people will say, "Dude, you're too old. You can't even do it." Some people are saying, "You got what? You're gonna do it for what? 3 years, 4 years, and you're gonna be too old by then." So when I look at these two guys doing this at their age, their respective ages, it's really inspiring for me, specifically. But also, man, I mean, Leota, I don't think will win this one. I would be surprised if Leota took it. He's not in the same prime that he was before when he was, for example, uh, light heavyweight champion in the UFC. Um, yeah, he's not the same. He's slowed down. He's weakened. But Yoel, on the other hand, Yoel Romero, I think he could win. Especially, I mean, it's not an easy matchup to for him to beat Rumble Johnson. I think that's a really good matchup. I think, oof, it would be nice to see Yoel in light heavyweight, but this is going to be really potential for, fireworks in this one. But either guy could take it, I think. And if Yoel can beat Anthony, and if he shows that he could beat him handily, then I think he could take anyone else in this Grand Prix. But everybody knows how tough Anthony Johnson is. Everybody knows how performed, especially some of his victories are really impressive. And he hasn't fought in a while, but I would say Anthony Johnson strikes me as one of the most driven and hungry individuals on the top. You know what I mean? It's easy to be hungry when you're on the bottom, but this guy is one of the hungriest people that's on the top. So, phew, I mean, if you look at his victories, man, he beat Ryan Bader, KO, Glover Teixeira, but these are in 2016. His last fight was a loss in 2017 to DC, Daniel Cormier. So he hasn't fought in a while. Um, so I mean, for me, it's going to be really interesting to see, what kind of Anthony Rumble Johnson we'll see when he goes up against Yoel. I'm probably going to be uploading another video on this, but I'm just really happy about the news, about this Grand Prix. They announced other things, Grand Prix with um, Patricio Pitbull and the others in those weight class. I think, and obviously Bellator's now with Showtime. So um, they announced all of that yesterday. I was able to catch the live stream, and I think it's great. I think what we're seeing is another organization growing to a point where it can actually compete with the UFC. I'm not sure because obviously you have the announcement and to see how that will translate into numbers, into popularity, into I don't know, attention, and if that will be, after all that, what we'll see is Bellator and the UFC kind of meeting in terms of who's the big player in town. Maybe there will be two. That's yet to be seen. I mean, it's hard to see how this alliance or this new tie-up, whatever you want to call it, between Bellator and Showtime uh, will will translate to their success. I'm sure they will grow. Bellator will grow. The sport is growing. I feel like it's like right. 2021 is the best year for mixed martial arts, and I feel like it's going to continue going up. And this has the potential to be the one of the biggest sports out there. It's certainly growing towards that. But yeah, that's awesome. I'm excited. I'll definitely be spending more time tuning into Bellator and I mean just the announcement and even this Grand Prix. It sounds like they have a lot to pay attention to anyway. So it's not hard. And this also goes back. I just thought about this. Like recently, I had a sort of back and forth on the YouTube comments from a ONE FC video I was watching, and I read a comment of some guy saying, "Well, it doesn't matter if this guy's not in the UFC. He's not one of the best." And I thought to myself, it's something to that effect. That's what I read, and I responded to this guy. I said, "It might surprise you, casual." But most of the best fighters, just because there's so many organizations out there, mid tier to top tier organizations that um, you can't say they're all in the UFC. The most famous fighters are in the UFC, certainly, but the best in the UFC, I don't think that can be said anymore. Maybe before, but now you got ONE FC, you obviously Bellator, you have PFL, you have Ryzen, you have all these organizations that are growing and that are big as well. Man, especially like ONE FC has a huge talent pool of featherweights, bantamweights, those smaller fighters, and some of them are really, really good. So, and they have a lot of other fighters with a lot of potential in other weight classes. And let's just start about ONE FC. You know, if you list them all the top fighters, majority of them will be, they won't be in the UFC. I mean, if you say UFC versus everything else, most of the fighters would be in the category of everything else, not in the category of UFC. That's what I'm saying. But I guess per capita, if you look at per fighter, who's like they have the most concentrate. UFC still has the most, in my opinion, concentration of talent. Like if say there's 50 people in a division, and 15 of them are ranked, then those 50 people, if there's a way to quantify their talent, add it up, I think that they have the highest concentration of talent, you know, for all divisions still. But that's changing. A lot of people are getting into fight sports. Young people, it's becoming more popular, it's becoming more mainstream. So, um, and when that happens, you can't just say like obviously MMA has been big in the United States and other and a few other countries for a very long time. In Brazil, Canada, and the UK, it's been quite relevant there. So you could, you know, easily find a decent gym and train and put in the effort. But in other countries, like in the Philippines, that's not the case. And in other countries, it's a new thing. So we're going to start seeing names from these obscure countries popping out and you know surprising us, and that's when we'll get a better picture of really who's the best in the world. I think in the larger scale of things, we have to understand this sport is still very young. It's very, very young, and it's still very much in a developmental stage. And the fact that it's grown to this popularity in its infancy is really a sign that this thing is going to take over. And I think fight sports, I think MMA especially, will become the most financially successful sport and most significant, most popular sport in the world in the next 10 years. That's my opinion. And it's not because, human beings love violence. That's not what I think. I think there are other reasons to that. I think you have to look at it in a more intelligent way and to just easily say that, oh, well, it's popular now because people are so violent. Like, I'm sorry, that's not a very intelligent line of conversation, really. I mean, there's only one way to respond, and like, no, you're wrong. Why do I mean, unless you have a very compelling basis to say that. And I mean, like a study, numbers, really, you know, quantifiable and agreeable way to quantify that or to present your argument. You can't just say that. Anyway, I'm digressing. This video is supposed to be more focused on Anthony Johnson versus Yoel Romero. I mean, dude, Yoel looks, even with that white shirt he was wearing in the live stream, he looks good. He looks big and thick, man. His neck could barely fit into that shirt. And Luke Thomas was really, like, he said it like 15 times, and it's getting kind of strange and awkward. But yeah, he looks good. Anthony Johnson didn't show up in the stream, but I'm gonna be looking up a few videos as I go. Like I said, this won't be the last video I post on it, but I'm really excited for that, and also excited for Bellator's light heavyweight division. But yeah, that's it. Thanks for joining me, guys. I'll be uploading more videos today and tomorrow throughout the week until, yeah, this Saturday is a big fight, so I'll be posting something about that as well. Um, so yeah, stay tuned, guys, and I hope you're having a good week. Bye bye.